I think it's okay, actually. Thinking I'd be kind of out of the way of the sun, but look. Oh, it's so bright. I suppose it's golden hour. So bright and sunny. It is golden hour. I bought myself a Lucasade to have in the car, specifically for this chat. Oh, look, I've got a little glowing nose. And then I drank it in advance, so... Water it is. I really do have a problem with these caps. I understand the premise. I just think that the execution was wrong. There's got to have been a better way. Maybe if they'd made it, like a loop, like there were some that existed already that had like a loop, so they were a bit more flexible. This is so annoying because it's almost impossible to get it back on the thread when you close it. And then it's just like in your face while you're trying to drink. I feel like it would have been better to maybe just do a different kind of bottle cap completely. Maybe we just need to go to glass and metal caps. Is that better? I feel like that's better. But I don't know. I was looking the other day. Karen and I were looking at different things. Hi, Joe. Different things for smoker matches. And we were looking at these diffuser bottles that are like glass bottles with an aluminium cap. And I was saying maybe this could work as, because at the moment, I'm so looking forward to it, Joe. We're going to get into that. Hong Kong on Saturday. Hi, Anna. Yeah, we were looking at these. At the moment, we do a diffuser, and you get the diffuser refill in a little aluminium bottle, and then you buy, hi Sarah, you get a diffuser, like a nice diffuser bottle that you refill. So it's kind of like a two-part thing. But I saw the other day these really nice looking glass, simple, evening Barbara, simple glass bottles with little aluminium lid that would look nice if you took the lid out, took the lid off, we put a nice label on it. You could just put the reeds directly into the glass bottle, and it would be an option if maybe you wanted multiple diffusers around the house, or you didn't want to have to buy the ceramic one that you refill. And I don't know whether or not glass is easier to recycle than aluminium, but that is a concern. That's like everything we're looking at what is better? What is the better thing? Have I got this on backwards? No, it just feels a bit wrong. Feels a bit out of it, But that's something we're looking into for the rest of the year. The rest of the year, we're in like the last quarter. It's crazy. Are we in the last quarter? We are in the last quarter, right? Feels like we are. Or at least we're looking at the last quarter. Life as a football mom. Great question. I don't even know where Milo is out there. There's so many kids in this field. Could be anywhere. They're getting new kits soon, and then I really won't know because they'll all be wearing the same colour. But he could be anywhere. Anyway, travels. We're going to get less ranty today. I've got a boob tube under this, and it keeps I'm wearing it upside down by accident, this whole thing. I have to edit this week's podcast. I got so ranty. It was a bit too much, honestly. Hi. Ooh, Gigi. Do you know what? I recognise your picture from all the things. But I feel like I've never had to say your name out loud. Must be Gigi, right? Yeah, we talked about rage bait, and we talked a little bit more than we should have about Blake Lively. Part of me thinks I might cut it out before I post the episode. But I didn't edit it straight away because I was just like, oh. Sometimes I say stuff and I'm like, don't know if I want to post that. I didn't say anything bad. I definitely didn't say anything bad. But it's more, when you say something that is going to be controversial enough to start an argument, Yeah, that's probably why. You're live. Do you know what? This seems to be a great time to do a live. Last time I did it completely like ad hoc random, because this is the time that I hang out in the car and wait for Milo to do football. And so many people joined. I was like, this is a good time for a live, a Tuesday night. So this must be why you happened upon it and you actually managed to join. So yeah, I'm kind of like mostly in two minds about it, because I don't know if I want the arguments. What's funny is Lee watches stuff all the time, and I'm like, God, I don't know how they deal with. There's one particular guy that we watch called the Mac Master, who I still watch his stuff, but he's very cantankerous. But that's kind of his brand. that's kind of, yeah, exactly, one of those kind of rants. But we were kind of getting into it. It was better because Emma was obviously part of the conversation. So she was like able to be the second, like if I had a point, she'd be like, yeah, but what about this? So it was better because it was part of a conversation rather than it just being a rant. But still, I kind of am like, do I need to have those comments coming up in my feed? Do I need those comments? I don't know. But then at the same time, no one watches the podcast. There'll be like 800 people maximum will watch this podcast, and not a lot of people comment. So I don't know. But what I was going to say is we watched this guy called the Map Master. He's like a travel and like a foodie kind of guy. And he's more and more and more kind of leaned into this persona as like a grumpy old man. And we watch him and I go to the comments and I'm like, oh, I don't know how he stands it. Like he went to Vegas recently and he did complain the whole time. We found it entertaining, but he was complaining the whole time. That was his thing. That's kind of his character on YouTube now. And all the comments are like, why did you even go if you're just going to complain? I bet you're going to be so happy to get back to your English, blah, blah, blah. It's all that. And I think people who can deal with that do really well on YouTube because that's all engagement. But the funny thing is, the whole conversation that Emma and I were having is kind of about this, and it's about how YouTube and social media in general has become like rage bait central. It's just everything is rage bait in some way, shape or form. And I am the most baited. I am the most triggered by this stuff. And so that's why I'm kind of now like a little bit torn as to whether or not I want to post it even in its small amount. I just feel like I was like ranty from the get-go, honestly. So I might just put it out there. We'll see. No one will watch it. It'll be fine. Right, let me just catch up with these comments because I saw a half of one that was excellent. Saw an interview with Kelly Clarkson and she said a therapist said you don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. That is perfect. If you'd listened to the podcast episode with Emma, that would have been just go and leave that comment as a complete repeat because that's basically it. I was saying to Emma, like Emma does a really good job of, she just watches something and she's just like scroll. Every time I see something that I don't like, not that I don't like, but that I'm like, that's just a lie. Like if I don't even need to know the person. I barely need to like the person. If I see something about someone and I think, well, that's not fair, I immediately go to the comments and I will like a few that agree with what I would think. And maybe I'll argue with a couple of people who are like, yeah, I hate this person. And I'm like, what is your problem? What is even your problem? I don't get it. It used to be mostly stuff like if you had a celebrity woman, an actress or something, and someone would be like, where's her kids? And I'd be like, you would never ask a man where a kid. I'm like, why? Why am I getting involved in this? And then it comes up in your feed, and then your whole feed is clogged with people arguing with you, or even just people liking your comment. I've got one at the moment that's got so many likes, and I'm going to have to go and delete it, I think. I think it's just going to, because I'm trying to ignore it, but people keep responding and liking it. And this was months ago. And it was about a particular area of the airplane and whether or not it is acceptable to walk in front of people. You know that area of the airplane where it's like where the bathrooms are and there's like a wall with no seats in front of you and the wall has the TVs on the wall and you've got like a bit of extra leg room. Would you consider that to be a walkway? I would not have ever in my wildest dreams. It would have had to be an emergency for me to walk across there. I didn't even consider it was a walkway. Like in the event of an emergency or before people are seated, then okay. But when people are sitting there with their legs out, you'd have to get them to move their legs so that you could walk. Anyway, this woman posted this thing, right? You would never, right? So this woman posted, I think the problem was she involved a baby. And whenever it's like mums on the internet, people are like, mothers of babies are so entitled, which, you know, I get it. But this was crazy. So, because not even like what we're talking about, we wouldn't walk down that walkway anyway. Well, This woman was saying, I just think it's really weird that someone would walk between a baby's bassinet, which that's where a bassinet hooks onto the wall there, where the TVs are. There's like a little, like a thing that goes onto the wall. I've never seen that before. Anyway, a bassinet big enough for a baby to be in, and the mother in the seat. People were walking between the baby and the mother in the seat. So what kind of space are we talking about? You're practically sitting on that woman's knee. What kind of space? And she posted this thing. That's totally rage bait. This is a great example of that did really well. It did like, no, I didn't know they had them on planes either, but did really well because it was rage bait. Whether she meant it to be or not, she probably was like, how can you believe? And then almost all the comments were like, God, that's obviously a walkway. How do you expect people to go to the bathroom? I think a lot of people were confused because they maybe hadn't been on a plane that had 2 aisles before. So maybe they were thinking, she was saying if you were in a window seat, you couldn't walk past a mother with a baby to get to the bathroom. Of course, that would be totally unreasonable. She's in the middle. There's never a reason why you couldn't just go the other way. If there was a baby, it's just crazy. It's crazy. And I said, my comment was something along the lines of, even without the baby in this equation, even without the baby in this equation, I think that's like crazy rude. Like you would never walk down there. And so many people just responded as if it was completely wild that anyone wouldn't use that as a walkway. It's it's crazy. It's bananas. People are bananas. And so, as I was saying to Emma in the podcast episode, this gets me at like living at a 10 on a regular basis, because I will have these conversations with people. I will leave these comments and it's like planting seeds for future rage. I will leave these things and then suddenly I'll get flooded with likes or responses. A couple of times I've just been like, oh, almost immediately changed my mind. I saw one this week. Did you see the thing about the Harry Potter Day in King's Cross, where all the people go to King's Cross, and it's like got the platform 9 3/4 at a certain time of day on a certain day every year. It comes up on the board of like platform 9 3/4. And there were so many people at King's Cross waiting for this thing. I know exactly. Pay for extra leg room, seated in those seats, people stepping over you. Can you imagine? Lee has booked those seats for us when we go in Florida in May. And I can't wait to see if people walk in front of us. I've never seen that. It's crazy. Anyway, so this thing didn't come up on the board. And the reason this was like a viral video was like all these people came and it just didn't happen. There was clearly like an error, because this is something that happens every single year. All the comments were like really mean about people who were interested in Harry Potter, like adults that were interested in Harry Potter. And then it was just not thinking of people who have to commute, and like it's so rude to people that have to be using the train station. It's so this, it's so that. It's like probably an hour, one day a year that people do this. I don't think it's a tremendous amount of commuters at like 11 o'clock or whatever time it was midweek, going through King's Cross main station. But it was a perfect example of everything on Instagram, wherever you're looking at stuff, has the potential to be rage bait. Everything. Because people are just existing at a 10. It's crazy. Yeah, I've heard of it before, but I didn't know specifics about it either. I mean, if I was in the area, I might go and see it, but I don't think I'd like go out of my way. And yeah, we're going back to Florida in May. Lee's all about it now, you know. It's so funny because the first time we went to Florida, I had done all the prep. I'd listened to all the podcasts. I got up early and did like all the wait-in every single day for like 14 days. I did our fast passes. He was not involved in any of the planning. He just kind of like rocked up and was like, right, okay, cool. Well, I wish we could go on this ride. I was like, well, do you remember 6 months ago when I asked you the rides that you wanted to go on because I needed to plan all the fast passes? Should have told me then. So I put a lot of the planning and the effort into the first time we went. And I remember Lee being like, oh, it's so busy. And he just wasn't all about it at all. And then we came home. We decided to book again, which was totally Lee's idea. And then it was 2020, so that got cancelled. And then we rebooked for 2021 and it got cancelled again. So by then I'd like planned and replanned and booked fast passes and stuff, and then things had been cancelled. So then the last time we went, last August, I just kind of like was a bit, I was over it, honestly. I was excited to go, but I was over it because it felt like I'd used up all my excitement for Disney, you know? I need to move my seat because I feel like I'm like way in the sunny part. And I do think that I was a little bit resentful that I was so excited the first time and nobody else was. And now Lee's so excited and I'm like, you know? But I am excited to go back in May. I am. Also, I'm going to Hong Kong Disney on... I can't get to grips with what days are what. Because I'm going on Saturday, but I'll land on Sunday. And then I think Monday is just around the town day. Tuesday's Disney. Wednesday is around the town and then home at night. Thursday I'll land. Friday I'm back at work. It's the craziest flying visit ever. And Molly, my friend who I'm visiting, sent me like a bit of a, this is what I think we're going to do yesterday, and was like, oh, but I don't know if after this day you'll want a break. Maybe we'll hang out by the pool. I'm like, I am there for no time at all. Don't give me any breaks. Don't give me any breaks at all. Oh, I know. Oh, that's so funny that you say how many sheet masks that I come back with, because today I started packing and I put all of, hi Caroline. I put all of the stuff that I thought I was going to need. I'm kind of vlog style packing. So actually live in the moment, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm maybe thinking of taking. Here's what I'm leaving behind, yada, yada. And I'd got all this stuff and I was talking about sheet masks today in the video that I don't even know when that's going to go up at this point. It's going to be like 50 minutes long probably. But I'd got all the sheet masks. I was saying, I'm not actually having as hard a time as I thought I would with the makeup and the skincare liquids bag. But sheet masks are liquids, right? I feel like they are. Yes, exactly. I wouldn't take any skincare if I went to Hong Kong, buy it all while I was there. So the problem is I am still doing carry-on only. Not because I have to, but because I want to do carry-on only. Partially, it's because I don't want to take a big... Oh, that's so weird, Caroline. I have a blood pressure monitor and I found it yesterday. I've lost it for months. Found it yesterday. What a weird coincidence. You can get them on Amazon. What was I saying? Right, so I can check a bag if I want to. So on the way out, I'm packing for carry-on only because I don't want to have to mess with a big case. So I'm going to take a carry-on case. So I may as well try and pack just so that it's all with me. And I don't want to lose my luggage and not have the stuff that I want while I'm there, because I feel like with it being such a short trip, by the time I get the luggage back, I'm not going to be there anymore. I don't want to have to look around the airport and find where my luggage is in a completely new airport and just waste time. I'd rather just get off the plane and just be like, and I'm away. That'd be great. Because again, I've just got so little time in the city. I want to use as much of it as I can. But if I ended up with stuff that I want to bring home that doesn't make sense for carry-on only, I could check my bag. So I could do that on the way home. I'd like to do carry-on only both ways. And my friend Molly could always send me stuff. If it was like a lot of stuff that I found, I could be like, right, do this. I'll give you the money. Please send it home for me. But I would like to just have everything with me. That would be great. That'd be ideal. And it's not like I need to take a lot of stuff. It's such a short trip, but it is just the bringing things home thing. I'm kind of planning on doing half a case. And I'm waiting on Molly sending me a list of things she might want me to bring to her. Because I'm going to have space. I need space because I need space to bring things home. The skincare, right? So, that's what I was saying. I had all these masks and I was saying, usually I would put only what I actually wanted on the plane in my hand luggage and my like liquids bag. And then I just throw a load of sheet masks in my case and then use what I want and take the rest of them home. But this time I have to consider that for the whole time. So I'm taking the last of those Cocoa Beauty, you know, the weird mask that you're supposed to sleep in. I'm taking the last of those masks with me. I'm going to use that on the plane. And then I said in the vlog, it's crazy to be taking sheet masks to Asia. How crazy is that? So I think I'm probably going to I'm not taking any SPF. I've got SPF in my foundation, but I'm not taking any specific SPF because I'm just going to buy that when I get there. I haven't got any shampoo that's small enough, so I'm going to get it either at the airport or when I get there. I also need toothpaste. They're the only things that I haven't got in my stuff. But I am also taking some things that are like close to being finished so I can dump them. It's going to be so difficult to not buy lots of liquid skincare, especially like facial mists. I love a facial mist so much. And I don't want to miss out on it just because I've got no space in my case. I can't wait to see what you pick up when you get there. Me neither. What are you planning on wearing on the flight? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. So these trousers, but the black and white ones, I'm packing super light. I think for me, I'm packing super light. I did buy this additional color of these trousers, but I'm not taking 2 of them. I'm only taking 1. Taking the black and white ones. I'm gonna travel because they're like pajamas. I'm gonna travel in those, a little black vest top and a black and white jumper, which I do not think I will want as soon as I get off the plane. But then at least when I get off, I'll be in like lightweight enough clothes that if it's super, super humid, like hits you like a brick when you come off, then that's my plan. But also the whole thing will be comfortable enough that I could completely sleep on the plane as well. I think I've been considering buying compression socks. I've never been on I've never been on a flight more than 10 hours. And apparently compression socks, obviously good for circulation, but also good for temperature control, temperature mediation. What do I mean? Keeping you regulation. What's the weather like over there? The weather is super humid, super hot and humid. Yes, regulation, exactly. Also, I haven't linked the black and white trousers anywhere. They're on Next. I know that there are some others that are like another brand, but these are from Next specifically. They have them in black and white, blue, pink, green, and like a beige. The black and white, I think, are just the best ones. I nearly bought these ones in a pink, and I don't know if I made a mistake getting blue, honestly. I thought blue was the best choice because it's like blue jeans. This is kind of almost neutral. But I thought I'm not going to wear pink all year round. And I feel like I could maybe wear these all year round. I think I maybe should have bought pink. Blue is not my colour at all. But hey ho. They're just kind of like dossing around clothes. Yeah, I know. I should have got the pink. I can't buy a third pair. That's excessive. It is. I can't do it. I'm quite excited to see what kind of clothes are available in Hong Kong. So I was watching one person's vlog, and they were shopping somewhere, and they were like, "Oh my god, this is so cheap." Hong Kong's supposed to be really expensive. Everything I've seen so far, I don't feel like it's expensive. Like, America has got so expensive. I'm staying in the Mondrian Hotel. I waited ages to book it, and I probably booked it like 6 weeks out. So maybe that's part of it. But I'm staying at the Mondrian Hotel, which is a nice hotel. And I think it was maybe like £100 a night. That's not that much. I think it was like number 6 on TripAdvisor. You know, like of all the hotels in Hong Kong, number 6. So it's a really nice and quite a new hotel. So there was that. And then Disney, I think that was about £60 a day. And I've also, I do need to order the dim sum. I've also booked a restaurant. I don't know how easy this is going to be. It's kind of a bit of a mad thing that I did, actually. I was thinking we'll do like a half day at Disney. Because, again, we haven't got a lot of time. Disney opens at 10:30. I've booked a reservation at the Disneyland Hotel. And I don't know where that is. I didn't look this up because I thought, well, we'll go there and then we'll do Disney. because I don't care about the rides and stuff. If we get on some rides, then great. But I want to do Disney. I want to like experience Disney, and I want to see fireworks. That's what I want to do. I'm not that in. Like, I don't have to go on all the rides. I don't have to be like rope dropping Hong Kong Disneyland. I just wanted to experience it. Maybe get some like fun merch to take to Florida. That would be good. But I wasn't like all about it. So I booked us lunch at this Disneyland hotel called, I think it's called the Crystal Lotus, and they do dim sum in the shape of the characters. How cute is that? But you need to order it in advance, and I need to place my order. I need to send the menu to Molly. So I probably need to do that later. You need to do it like at least 24 hours in advance, but you know, I'm gonna forget. But yeah, that was super cheap as well. I think like worst case scenario, absolute worst case, bearing in mind this is Disney, like the Disneyland hotel restaurant, I think absolute worst case scenario was like £100 each. Don't get me wrong, it won't be £100 each. I'm not spending that on dim sum. But if that was Florida, in the Disney hotel in Florida, the like big restaurant, and that was like the big draw, it would be so much more than that. So I don't know, my experience of like pricing so far through booking things and through the vlogs that I've seen, things don't seem crazy expensive. Even like the train and stuff, it was like something like $9 I think it equated to get the train, the Airport Express, like to basically where my hotel is from the airport. What? That can't be right, can it? Yeah, apparently so. So we'll see. Maybe I'll come back and be like, yeah, that was super expensive. But I'm hopeful that when I get there, I'm gonna have I'm gonna be like, wow, this is so cheap. I don't think I am. But maybe there will be some things that I feel like are cheap because America's become so expensive. And I'm excited to go to all their equivalents of like Boots and Superdrug. I can't remember what it's called now, but someone told me the other day, like, don't take anything with you and just buy things from this place, which is easier said than done. I need things for the plane, you see. But I'm prepared to dump some things if I need to. Or check a bag. Oh, thanks for joining, Gigi. Have a great rest of your evening as well. Whatever it is that you're doing. I'm just going to be hanging out here, not really watching Milo train for football. It's nearly time for them to be actually properly playing matches. They've been doing friendlies, which seem to have been going well. But it's been quite funny for me to watch because we're not football people. And for me to watch football people taking this really seriously has been quite entertaining. You get a lot of dads. I don't know what they're doing right now, but they're all holding hands and there's a ball in the middle of them. Yeah, you got a lot of dads at one match, like threatening to fight each other over a friendly under-13s football match. I just didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. People take it really seriously. Lots of shouting. And then one of the coach people, the like managers, they were talking to us and being like, Milo's doing this and Milo's doing that. Milo's really, really great. We were like, is he? We're not. We're barely following this. We're barely following it. My favourite player is the goalkeeper because I understand his job and he seems great. He's like, also, he's super my favourite because from the goal, he's like a little, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, oh my God. Very close by the cars. Really geeing everybody up. Like a little hype man. But he's got a really deep voice for his age. And he's so cute because he's just like, come on now, guys. Just a bit of fun. Everyone have a good time. And he just sounds like someone's dad from the sidelines. It's really cute. Oh, new shops in Meadowhall, not been for a long time. The new Zara, haven't actually shopped in there, but we wandered around. It's worth having a wander. Mango is new in Meadowhall. What else? There's a nice new, like, I don't eat this stuff because it's all a bit too sweet and sickly for me. But there is a new, like, cookie cake brownie type thing downstairs in the Oasis that the boys really like. What else is there new in Meadowall? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like a lot of things are coming. A lot of things are like opening. We're going to get phrases soon. I remember going to Disneyland Paris as a teenager. The best thing was you can't pronounce the name. Oh. Staring at. Oh, the Swarovski crystal shop. It was like a fairy tale. Yeah, that is like the Christmas shop in the castle. That was the thing that really disappointed me. We went to Florida, and you go up to the castle, and I was like, you can't go inside the castle. What? That's the whole thing. Like in Disneyland Paris, you can walk through the castle. There's a shop inside the castle, and you can go underneath the castle, and there's a dragon. There's a dragon there. And from inside the castle, the best part is because it's Sleeping Beauty's castle, you can look up at all the stained glass windows, and it's all like scenes. That's amazing. The Disneyland Paris castle is by far the best castle that I've seen so far. I've only seen 2. The Hong Kong castle, I can already tell you I'm not going to be a big fan of. It's a completely different looking castle. It used to be like a direct copy of the one from California Disney, and now it's totally different. It's like, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Like the Disneyland Paris castle is the prettiest castle because they had to make it like a fairy tale castle from Europe. The ones in America didn't have castles like they do like in Europe. We had like actual proper castles. So a castle in America could just be kind of an imaginary fairy story castle, whereas ones in Disneyland Paris, so it was told in the things that I've watched, they had to kind of make it stand up against the really beautiful castles that actually exist in Europe. Whereas obviously in America it's different. So I can kind of see why in Hong Kong they've now remodeled the whole thing, and they've tried to make it a little bit more specific to Asia. And so it's got like kind of turrets that are a little bit more Taj Mahal-y, I suppose. I don't know if there's a word for, like the turrets of the Taj Mahal, they're kind of like, they're very specifically Asian, aren't they? But yeah, it's very interesting. Each of the towers apparently is dedicated to a princess. So I'm interested to see it, but I don't know if I'm going to get that Main Street feeling. When you walk down and you're like, oh, I'm in Disney. I don't know if I'm going to get that same feeling with that castle at the end. I also don't know if you can walk through it. I don't know. I'll let you know if there's a Swarovski castle in the middle. Have I watched Omit B episode 2 yet? No, because we didn't have time. Milo got home, and then we were waiting for Lee to get home, and now I had to take Milo to football, and we have to all watch it together. So then, when we get home, we will be watching Only Murders episode 2. The first podcast episode that we did last week was, I'm trying to remember what it was about. Oh, it was mid-year reset. So I did that, and at the end of each podcast episode, we'll have a little chat about Only Murders in the Building for those people who are interested. And Emma we just haven't managed to work out our schedules yet because she's had some family stuff going on. Then she's away. The next week I'm away. It's not been a great, organized time for doing this. So last week, Milo sat in with me. If you didn't watch the podcast, if you're interested in Only Murders in the Building, it's on my other Michaela Talks channel. It was called, what did I just say it was called? Like a fish. Mid-year reset. And you can skip to the end, and it's just me and Milo talking about our theories from Only Murders in the Building. This week, I'm not sure who's going to sit in with me. I've got a couple of potentials. See whether or not, it's all about managing to get someone who can do it at the right time that's already watched the episode and has thoughts to share. But hopefully by the time Emma and I can film together and kind of get into it, we'll have a little bit more information so we can kind of really get into our theories. And it'll be the first time we've really talked about it as well. Because I spoke to her last week and she hadn't watched any of it yet. I think we'll be on episode 4 by the time Emma and I can actually do our recap. Have we made any more soaps? No. So we started dabbling a little bit with soap for soap and matches. I'm trying to remember what the best one that soak and matches. Hi Tracy, good evening. Soaken matches was my favourite suggestion, but we haven't done any more yet because I think I was just kind of getting a little bit carried away, and I needed to. Oh, Milo saved a goal. I needed to kind of focus or refocus on the current season stuff. So, once it was a crazy thing to be like trying to launch brand new products in a completely different area before we'd settled on Christmas. So yeah, we can't do that right now. Right now, I am waiting for our advent calendar prototype to arrive, which is exciting. I also need to photograph our advent candles, but I feel like I may as well just wait for the advent calendar to arrive, so it'll probably be after Hong Kong at this point. And then once that is all done with, we will be launching our pre-order for the advent, which is really exciting, but a lot of pressure. It's crazy. Yeah, exactly, Tracy. So we've gone through the initial stages of we know all the ingredients we're going to use for the first batch of the soap that we're going to do. I think it's going to have to be cashmere because cashmere is overwhelmingly the bestseller across all. Some of them are like more so in candles or more so in whatever, but cashmere does well as like an all-rounder. So I think cashmere will be the thing that we launch with maybe in the new year. But what we were talking about was we would like to have maybe it made and sorted by Christmas, so the people who were ordering in December could maybe get a sample for it to come out in January. But I don't know. I just can't. If that's something that we can do in time, then great. I just don't want to rush it, and I also don't want to put the pressure on other things when we've done pretty well so far this year to like arrange things and give ourselves a little bit of room and space and time to set things out right. Like the autumn launch was our best yet, and we were so prepared. We had that stuff made, photographed, tested months ahead of time. Everything was like good to go for ages, and then it all came together perfectly. All of the promotional reels, everything was like good to go. And I want that again for Christmas, and I don't want to mess it up by being like, well, let's also make soap, you know? I do want to do that. I do want to do something like that, but really that's more to broaden our, not our customer base, broaden our like product base, so that we're not relying on candles and wax melts at the times of year that maybe people aren't buying candles and wax melts. If this is genuinely a business that could one day sustain us as our like full-time gig, who knows? I mean, we're both shocked that it's gone this long. We're shocked that people have spent as much money as they have with us. It's bananas. We, on a regular basis, message with each other like, I can't believe it. I can't believe there are people who have spent £1,000 plus on like multiple people on so many orders. Not like on single order, I mean like total order value. But there are, when you do something like this, you get a couple of people say, oh, that's really good. And it's hard to believe. And then you get so many people say, that's really good. And it's still hard to believe. When does it go away? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know when that like feeling of, I suppose it's imposter syndrome goes away. But I'm so glad that I'm doing it with Karen. Because if I was doing it by myself, I would second guess myself to the point of not doing it at all anymore. We've actually, I'm going to take everything off Amazon because we got 2 comments, we got 2 reviews. Bear in mind, we've got so many reviews on our website. I have never moderated one of those reviews. I've never deleted or edited or whatever one of those reviews, or like asked for something to be taken down, nothing. We've got so many reviews on our website that are glowing. And I get that, there are on our direct website, maybe people aren't going to leave mean reviews. Maybe I don't know. But on Amazon, we'd only been on there for like 2 months and we got 2 negative reviews, like 1-star reviews for a product that we hadn't sold. We hadn't actually sold that cent of that product. And we got 2 negative reviews on Amazon. And it costs money to be on Amazon. It costs now I've taken the listing down, I've got to wait several months before I can completely close out our account, and we still got to continue to pay a monthly fee to Amazon even in that time where I can't close it down, which is really annoying. But I said to Karen, I feel like it happened when I released my book. There are a subset of people who will use Amazon kind of to troll. And we haven't experienced any of that, like across any of the platforms. And I was really, really prepared for it. Early on, I thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to deal with the meanness of people when I'm trying to do something with my friend who didn't sign up for, like, you know, trolls, because normal small businesses don't have trolls. And we did nothing, absolutely nothing at all. And so when we got a little bit of that on Amazon, I said, you know what, like, we've hardly got any sales on Amazon because people are coming directly to us. The whole point of Amazon was that Amazon would drive the sales, and they didn't. And so why are we paying for that when we're driving sales directly to our own website and it's doing well? Let's just scrap Amazon completely. It's just kind of like a money pit. And then we got those 2 reviews, and I was just like, no, we're opening up like a forum. Did you know you could leave a review for something you've never bought on Amazon? Neither did I. But you can. So yeah, that doesn't help the imposter syndrome. So then I ended up sending out 3 of the thing that had been negatively reviewed to random people, and one person bought the thing, and I just refunded her and said, could you just please, when you receive this thing, I said, you know, I know you've bought this, but I've had some not so great feedback on Amazon for this particular product. I would really like your feedback. I refunded her on that item. I thought there was someone stood next to me then. I don't even know what I was thinking. Like, just imagine that. I refunded the item and asked just for some feedback. And she messaged back a week later and was like, there's literally no problem with this product. Like, I could smell it across the entire of the downstairs. There's no tunneling. There's no blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. That makes me feel better, because I'll lose sleep over this stuff. We also had like a repeat wholesale order, and we were both like, so does that mean they sold some? We're like 18 months into this, and we still can't believe people are buying the things. And they're like telling us they're great, and they keep buying them. It's starting to feel like a real business that could actually sustain itself. So that's why we're looking into soaps, and that's why we're looking into other things, because a candle business is seasonal, very much so. It's a lot to make from scratch. You're tenacious enough to do it, I reckon. Thank you so much. Yeah, tenacious is probably the nice way of putting it. But next year, am I going to do another book? Funny you should ask. I have like a very tenuous idea of a book, but it will be a novel if I ever write this book. You know, like when people are always writing a book, and they say everyone's got a book in them. I don't think my book was the book. I think that was the book I was asked to write, and I'd already planned a load of stuff for a YouTube series, and that ended up becoming a book. And then within that book, I kind of filled it out with some things that I would usually want to talk about. But it wasn't really, like, if someone had just said, you can write about whatever you want to write about, that wouldn't have been it. So I've had an idea for a long time that I'd like to write a mystery novel. And a while ago, I had an idea for a podcast where I've had so many ideas for podcasts. An idea for a podcast where you kind of set out the premise of the story. You know, like a true crime podcast, but it's a novel, but it evolves as you do the podcast. It was kind of almost like workshopping an idea. In my mind, this was, and it doesn't maybe make any sense at all, but this was my idea. So let's say I tell you, you know, where it's based, and here are the characters, and I'll give you like sketches of the characters so you can see these are what the people look like, and here's some like little bios of all the different people, and this is the scenario, and there's been a murder, and this is where all these people say that they were. And you'll kind of get into it like you would a true crime, and then she did this, and then she did that. And then based on people's comments, like, oh, I think it was this person, or I think it was that person, you would craft the next episode. And so, you know, like when, like we're watching Only Murders in the Building now, and each week we go, oh, well, I think, did you see this? Well, I think this happened. And then at the end, it wasn't that. There's so many theories that I've had for TV shows, for movies, where I've thought, oh, I know what happens. I absolutely know what happens. It's going to be this. And it's not that. And I think, but that would have been great. So I guess it's kind of from that. You kind of, week by week or month by month, however long this would go on for, create the story based on other people's ideas. That was my original idea. This was years ago. I was talking to someone about it. Like, I feel like that would be a really fun way to write a story. And then eventually that would be the story and you'd write the book. And it would be kind of almost like crowdsourced. But I don't know if that's what I want to do now. But I was talking to my friend the other day because I've just kind of been waiting for that. Like, what's it going to be? I've got like a cast of people in my mind and like a vision of like kind of what it looks like. And I wanted it to be set in a hotel. And nobody leaves the hotel. Poirot-ish. With also kind of like a vintagey feel, but modern day. If anyone's seen Death and Other Details, like that, but not terrible. That was such a disappointment. After watching Only Murders in the Building, it was like, you might like, well, I'll tell you what I didn't like. Death and Other Details was so bad. Literally the worst thing I've ever watched. Everything about it looked great. Aesthetically, totally my jam. It was terrible. It was so terrible. It got like maybe 3 or 4 episodes in, and then I was like, wait, what? It might as well have been, and here's my evil twin. It was the craziest plot, and there was way too much going on. It was very disappointing, and I bet they make a second one. Anyway, but all that's to say, I like the kind of like vintage, it's almost like a Wes Anderson type, vintagey feel, but modern day. So that kind of feel in a hotel. I've got my cast in my mind of celebrities that play the parts, because that helps. And I was just kind of waiting for like but what's the thing going to be? Waiting for the inspiration. And then the other day I was talking to my friend about cameras. You know how sometimes people have cameras in their houses? Everyone's got a Ring doorbell. I don't have a Ring doorbell. I live right on a footpath that would just be going off all the time. And initially we were talking about how people who have a Ring doorbell are always on the phone. Like, you can't ignore a notification. Like, if you get something on your phone, you have to look at it. It's like must look at my... No, you don't have to. Like, if I get a phone call and I'm talking to someone else, I don't answer the phone. Nobody would walk up to you in the middle of a phone call and interrupt you. If I called you and you were in the middle of a phone call, in the middle of a conversation, I wouldn't expect you to stop that conversation to pick up your phone. Ring me back at a more convenient time. Chances are it's not an emergency. I'll call back if it is, and then you'll know. But it kind of all came from that, from like the fact that everyone has to be available on their phone, and that's bananas to me. But then we were talking about how everyone's got these cameras outside the houses and also inside the houses. And sometimes you go in people's houses and you're being filmed and you don't know. And that's not okay. And you should be told if you go into someone's house, oh, by the way, there's a camera in this room that also has sound, and other people have access to that camera that are not in this room right now. Like, you could go around to someone's house and you could be having a conversation with your friend, and her husband could be watching your whole conversation on a camera. That should be disclosed. That should be 100% disclosed. Anyway, we were getting into this thing about cameras, and something just kind of like clicked in my brain, and I was like, oh, that could be the premise of the murder. It could be all about cameras. It could all be about what was seen on what camera, and why was there a camera in this room, why there wasn't a camera, why a camera was broken, why a camera was turned off, what was, like, who was watching from what camera. And now I feel like I would still like to do maybe hotel, but it could be apartments. But then is it too much? Oh, it be, I don't know. But like within a building. So I kind of thought originally hotel, but maybe apartment building now. And it's going to be a lot of cameras. That's as far as I've got so far. But yeah, really long-winded answer to yes, I would like to write another book, but it will be very different. I want some wax melts and a wax burner. I've only burnt half of the wax melts so far because I always forget it's there. It smells so nice and isn't overwhelming. Brilliant to hear. I wish I'd burn more so I could justify buying the Halloween or autumn wax melt. You don't have to ever justify. I'm actually really hopeful that the advent calendar will be a good seller for that reason, because we get so many questions every single week. Someone will ask me, do you do something that's like all of your scents in one thing? Last year we did a 12 days of Waxmas. We're not doing any markets. We've not got any plans for markets for the rest of the year. We may do one at Christmas, but we'll see how we feel. It's just a lot of work, and we don't feel like we get, again, because we've got so much online presence, like we get a lot of online sales. Every time we've done a market, we've made more online that day than we have doing the market. And it's so much work. That day, we could make so much product. We could photograph. We could spend that time doing something a lot more productive. So I'm not sure whether we will do. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, last year we did the 12 days of Waxmas. This year we're doing a 24 day advent calendar. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be every scent. So it's going to be a good way to test a lot of things. We also do have a celestial wax melt box, but that's like all of the star sign ones. And I think perhaps the reason that that doesn't sell as well is we don't make candles in the star signs. We only do wax melts, and we're considering changing that next year. I think we may start doing like because there's so many, to keep them in stock feels a lot. So we may do it on like a made to order basis. But we'll see. We have got these gorgeous little molds, these little pot molds that would be so perfect for a star sign candle. So perfect. But I am excited about that. Oh, I think Milo is coming off now. I get the impression it's winding down. So I should probably wrap this up before he appears at the window. You can order them online, Caroline. Smokeandmatches.com. Smokeandmatches.com. It's actually, I'm pretty sure it's always listed in the description of my videos, but smokeandmatches.com. And obviously we're on Instagram. I think you can actually buy them through Instagram. I don't know how that works, but when I post things, it asks me to tag things. It does. You can, there's like, we do Apple Pay, we do PayPal, all the things. But anyway, thank you so much for keeping me company, for joining me for yet another Soccer Mom Tuesday. It won't be next week, because next week I'll be in Hong Kong, but I do feel like I'm going to do a lot of lives from Hong Kong. I have a feeling I'm going to be awake a lot. And it's going to be the middle of the night, and it won't be the middle of the night for you. So I'm going to do some chats in the middle of the night from my hotel. I'm really excited about that, actually. So yeah, stay tuned. But otherwise, so much content to catch up on. I just posted a beauty haul. Go and check that out. And I will see you guys in my next vlog. Bye.